right now we're on the east side of Agnes's pasture, which abuts the Hubbard Sanctuary. And Agnes Fuller, um, in her later years, decided that she wanted to donate her pasture to the trust, just like Molly Hubbard did. So this was 2008, and um, she wanted to give us the property, but since she had limited resources and income, and she was starting to fail, she was having heart conditions, and physically she was starting to fail. So we were concerned that if she gave us the property and she ended up in a nursing home, that the state would take the property back, because there's a 5-year period in which the state can reclaim the property to pay for nursing home costs. So what we decided to do was to purchase an easement from Agnes that would guarantee that the property would be preserved, and even if the state took it, it would still have an easement on it. And so we did that. Things were working out pretty good, and she did give us then she gave us the property. So uh, this is Agnes's pasture. It's like 13 acres, and Agnes had used this as a pasture. She had cows up here, and she was a very industrious farmer. She was a small woman, probably less than 100 pounds, and her husband was just the opposite. He was over 300 pounds, and Agnes, and he had mobility problems, so she did all the work, including any carpentry. Very clever, industrious person. And one of the stories I like to tell about Agnes is that when she moved to the shortly after she moved to the property in 1950, there was a drought, and on the property, on the pasture, is a historic well for the cows to drink from, and that went dry. So she had, or was going dry, so she had to dig a new well, and she did so on the on the western side of the property. There's a rocky swale where a brook runs through, and she and her sister dug this well, uh, and it's incredible. It was like a professional had built it. She had to move the rocks and build it back up, and then she could have a source of water for her cows. Well, as she got older, she was not able to use the pasture, but she still had chickens and turkeys, and she was well known around the town because she had a little Ford tractor with a mowing machine, and she would mow all the hay fields in town. And she and her husband would collect the hay in their truck, but she would do all the work outside and he would drive the truck. So anyhow, um, we've tried to keep the pasture as a pasture, but it wants to grow up as a pine forest because there's huge pine trees on there. But every year we try to mow it and preserve it for Agnes.